Good morning. I'm in the Yorkshire Dales today, just making my way up Ingleborough. I parked in Clapham. It's about 9:30 on a beautiful late November day. Let's take a look at that. Absolutely fantastic. So we're going to see some of the sights of the hill as we go up. We're going up Trow Gill and past Gaping Gill, then up onto Little Ingleborough, and then finally up onto Ingleborough. And if I remember, I'm going to call on Simon Fell on the way back down. Well, a bit of a detour, because it's one of the Dales 30, which I'm kind of bagging at the minute when I remember. So I'll see you a bit further up. Right, we're a bit further up the track now, probably about a mile or so into it, and we're just about to join the path to the Ingleborough Cave. Looks like the latch is knackered on this. Yeah, somebody's taking the bolt out. Good job there was nobody coming then, or I'd already knocked him over. No sign of the bolt on the ground. Right, that path there has come through the woods from the trail entrance at the other end that you might have noticed on the video as we started, but it's actually a toll path up to that gate there, so that'll cost you, it was £2.50 last time I looked, and in my view it's not really worth it. There's not much to see. There's a folly that was built by Farrer years ago, a big limestone folly, which is quite interesting, but not really worth £2.50. So we're now going to carry on along this path. But first we're going to pass this thing here, which is a hydram pump, which is used for pumping water, obviously. But they're very inefficient things, but they're very reliable, and they run for nought off the pressure of the water that they're pumping. Very clever, really. So this thing here is the intake, and that clunking you can hear is the noise of the valve opening as it pumps through to the next bit. So they're using it to pump water up onto the fells there. Very efficient, but it doesn't really matter because they run for now. They're not powered, and they're very reliable. Some work going on here at the cave. I don't know what they're doing. Maybe they're extending the hut or something. But this is Ingleborough Cave. Pretty nice cave, really. Pretty interesting. It looks like it's probably shut at the minute. Right, further up the path from the cave now, and we're about to enter the gorge where Trow Gill is. It's pretty impressive, really. So we'll just get through that gate. Just getting into the top corner, as it were, of Trow Gill now. I seem to remember reading somewhere that they reckon it's a collapsed cave, this. I'm not so sure myself. because I'd expect there to be loads of rubble. There is a bit about, but not that much. I'd expect there to be a great big pile of it down the bottom of the hill there, but there isn't. But I'm no geologist, so if you know what it was, you can confirm what it was, just leave a comment. Right, we're out on the fells proper now. Our first proper sight of Ingleborough there. This is Little Ingleborough on this end, and Ingleborough at the other end. So but first, we're just going to pop over here and have a look at Gaping Gill. Gaping Gill is a cave entrance, a vertical shaft, and it goes down about 300 feet or so. The space underneath is enormous. It's big enough to fit, I can't remember if it's Westminster Cathedral or York Minster in it, but either way it's very big and very impressive. And you go and have a look for yourself twice a year, unless you're a caver, in which case you can go when you want. But twice a year, a caving club, I think it's Craven Caving Club and Bradford Caving Club take turns, and I think it's Springbank Craven do it. August bank holiday, Bradford do it, but they have a winch meet and they'll winch you down into the cavern for about 10 quid. But as they waggishly say, it's free to go down, it's 10 quid to come back up again. So here we are, just arriving at Gaping Gill now. Fortunately it's fenced off, so you can't blunder into it. It is right down there, a big shaft. See the shaft proper there now. You can actually go right down to it if you want to. I'm not going to bother today. If you just go here, some steps down there, have a walk around. Be very careful though if you do. So today it's very icy, so I really wouldn't recommend standing down there today. Injury or death can result. 100 metres deep. Do not attempt to walk along the edges, they can be very slippy. There's an email address there for the two caving clubs that go down. So now we're going to go up Ingleborough. So that was Gaping Gill. I was kind of tempted to try and fly the drone down actually into the shaft or a bit closer to it. But I'm not that good a pilot of it. I thought I can see something going horribly wrong. So I decided not to bother. So I'm going to make my way up Little Ingleborough now, on the way to proper Ingleborough. So we're going to climb up a path there, which is pretty bleeding steep. But once we're up there, that's the hard work done. Quite an interesting spot on the top of there. There's a site of an Iron Age, like a little settlement really, little stone round huts and the like, so we'll have a look at that when we get up. I'll see you further on. See you, Gaping Gill. Right, just arrived at the bottom of the step section, up onto Little Ingleborough. It gets a bit steep for a bit, but not for long. And then we're on the top of Little Ingleborough, and that's most of the work done really. I'm just looking out on the path at the minute. There's some what I'd call runes carved in places. I don't always spot them, but I'll show them you if I can find them. And you can tell me what they are if you know. Let me know in the comments. Well, here we are now on Little Ingleborough, and these dips here are the sites of the old Iron Age dwellings. So it's reckoned there was a hill fort on the summit of Ingleborough. You can just see traces of it now. If I spot anything, I'll point them out to you as we get up there. So we're nearly done now, all over by the shouting. We've just got to go up this rake here now. Then a nice gentle incline to the summit from there, and that's it. So that's us just arriving at the summit plateau now. Probably what we're possibly within the gateway to the fort. See the outer wall there. The same on that side. It runs pretty much right round the summit plateau. I'm not going to walk right round it today. And at various places on the summit here, there's some of those Iron Age hut circles, which in our thought may actually be ring cairns. So I guess the jury's out now. Ingleborough summit, 724 metres. One of the summits on the Yorkshire Three Peaks. The pile of rock you can see there was built as a hospice, a shelter up here years ago, last century. And apparently on the night it was opened there was a big party to celebrate it, and it got so out of hand it finished up getting burnt down and collapsing. It was never put back. The hospice. See right out to sea over there into Morecambe Bay. You can see Morecambe Power Station, and possibly, in fact I can see the Isle of Man I think. And over there we've got the Lake District, and the Trow Gill Fells here. We're inside a bit closer in. Absolutely beautiful. Very cold though, so I'm not hanging about. If the summit shelter is sheltered from this wind, I'll have a butty. If it isn't, I'll carry on. So just sit and have a butty, cheese and onion from the garage. Bit of a cock up today really. I made my butties last night and I left them in the fridge. So I had to call it garage and get some new ones. So I'm not going to bother going up Simon Fell after. Partly because I can't be bothered. Partly because it's very cold. It's 12:30 now. 1:45. So the day's getting on. And I want to call in the new inn in Clapham and have a pint. So my objective was to get off Ingleborough, which I've done. So I'll scurry back to the pub. See you in a bit. Right, I've decided not to sit around any longer, it's just too cold. So I'm going to set off back, head back to Clapham, and I'm going to go via Gaping Gill, I think. It's very cold, and that pub is very tempting. So I'll make my way back, got my sandwiches with me. I'll scoff that on my way back. Review of Whernside over there. Just see the Ribblehead Viaduct down here. Fantastic. Bit frosty on the route down there. Right, made it safely down the horrible bit. So I'm just going to walk back along Simon Fell now, or the side of Simon Fell. And just before we get to the wall ahead, it's probably about half a mile or so away, I'm going to turn right and head down to Gaping Gill again. And when we get to Gaping Gill, I'm going to pass by it and make my way up the field and up onto Long Lane and walk back that way. Right, pretty much back down to Gaping Gill now. There's Little Ingleborough, we're up before, Ingleborough summit. We've just come back down this path here. Usually that's very wet and unpleasant, but today it weren't so bad because the ground's pretty much frozen, so it weren't so bad. So here's Gaping Gill again, which you should remember from a bit earlier on in the walk. This is one of them potholes I was telling you about. Thought it's disappeared down there. And then pop up in Gaping Gill. So there's another one here. And this here is Bar Pot. The entrance is right down there. Looks like there might be somebody in because it looks like some gear down there. I must urge you, if you're watching this video and you're thinking of going down there, don't. It really is the kind of place where you need to know what you're doing. So I must urge you not to go in these places. Right, so here's the gate that we came over early on. Earlier on we came up this path here, but we're going to go back that way, mix it up a bit. We're going to walk down the hill here. You probably can't see it in here, there's a gate over there. So we're downhill for a bit. And up a track on the other side. And pick up that lane through the gate there. So we drop down there, up this path here. Now we're at the gate, which drops us onto Long Lane. And a pretty gentle walk back to the car then. Right, we're near at the bottom of the lane now. Not that far off the pub stroke car now. Possibly a mile or so. But unfortunately, we've two obstacles to get out of the way first. Number one, when we get around this corner, with a bloody climb up, just what you don't need at this time of the day. And then you have a steep descent down into some pitch black tunnels. So I've just got my torch out because it will be dark in there at this time of day. Sometimes it's not so bad, it's summer. But at this time of day, at this time of year, it'll be pitch black in there. So as you'll see when we get there. I'll see you in a bit. Clapham, quarter of a mile. So nearly there. We're out the tunnels. I've got my head torch on. Actually, it don't look so bad today. Got my torch on the road. Apparently these tunnels were built, so I hear, by the lord of the manor, as it was, the local landowner, who I think was called Farrer. And apparently he put these tunnels here so he didn't have to look at his workmen going to work in the fields of the morning, because obviously they came through these tunnels. So, not that the tunnels were here, but he didn't like looking at them walking to work, so he built the tunnels. Then he didn't have to. So pretty much back in Clapham now. There's the church, beautiful church. So if you've enjoyed the video, you give us a like, that'd be grand, and a subscribe as well. Doesn't cost you anything to subscribe, it's not like a magazine subscription. It just means you get notified, providing you click the bell, of when I put new videos out. Which isn't very often, so you don't need to worry too much about being harassed. So thanks for watching. Hope you enjoyed it. There'll be a GPX in the notes if you fancy doing the route. I'll see you down the pub if it's open. Ta-ra. So here we are at the new inn.